fishing by the quarter to 4. Read a magazine and then you're in Baltimore. Dinner in the diner, nothing could be finer than to have your ham and eggs in Carolina. When you hear the whistle blowing 8 to the bar, then you know that Tennessee is not very far. Shovel all that coal in, got to keep a rolling. Woo-woo, Chattanooga, there you are. There's gonna be a certain party at the station, satin and lace, I used to call Honey Face. She's gonna cry until I tell her that I'll never roam. So Chattanooga choo-choo, won't you choo-choo me home? Oh, Chattanooga choo-choo, won't you choo-choo me home? Oliver,
There's one of those albums which has about 50 tracks on it. I'm not joking. Well, actually, it's 10 on each side, which is, I think, getting near a record as far as I can establish. That's 20 on it. Steve Lawrence, the best of Steve Lawrence. Obviously, you get money's worth. And Pardon Me Boy, Choo-choo me home, Chattanooga choo-choo. 5:02. Good morning. It's Friday today. Had to come back. It was payday on a Friday. I find that attendances at work are always greater on a payday Friday. Perhaps if we made paydays on Mondays, there'd be more people at work. I don't know. And good morning anyway. It's going to be a warm day today, so if you've got something planned, you might find it rather perspiring today, or whatever the word is. Anyway, if you got the day off, what could you do today? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What a terrific excuse to do nothing. 19 degrees at the moment.
Si Adelita fuera tu mujer, le comprarías un vestido de seda para llevarla a bailar al cuartel.
Well, that's a cute little tune. This is the best way to describe it. Cute. Baccara, or Baccara, those ladies who brought us those boogie songs last year. And that's Adelita. 5:05. At 19 degrees, there's a bit of wind from the northwest at 6 kilometres per hour. And Mr. Stone has had a haircut. We put an ad on the trading post for tenders for a haircut and got 2 responses. One from a delightful young gentleman in the cloth. Says he's due for nothing. We said we're discussing hairdressing. Oh, Thorry. So there you are. It's, I still think you could afford to, you've partially exposed your left ear. Yes, there is a bit there. And your right one, the hair's a bit low. It's not even, you notice that? Did your hairdresser talk about the compulsory sporting, did he? Or was it Afghanistan this time? Never go during the rugby league season. I just refuse to go anywhere near a bar. They say, who do you think will win on Saturday? Click, 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 click. It's a lady, is it? Talking about young women, was she? She's not... What are you doing that with your chair? Oh, she has large breasts. Is that what you're trying to say? Does that do something for you? And tight jeans. Why is she wearing her jeans around her breasts? Oh, sorry. Do you like ladies with large breasts, do you? You don't. Well, why did you mention it? You don't know. Good. Anyway, we've had a haircut, so it's a bit sort of... It's a bit neat yet, isn't it? You need to ruffle, get a lady. Well, perhaps we'll get a lady to come in and ruffle your hair a bit this morning. That'll frighten the pants off you, won't it? 5:07. The ABC Melbourne Show Band with Brian May and Sweet Gypsy Rose. It's sort of, I suppose people really do buy records like that. I can never imagine people buying sort of that sort of record. People do buy Kamal, as Mr. Stone has indicated. That's also interesting. I don't totally understand that, but that's subjective. But that sort of music, I mean, when would you play it at home? Would you come home after a rotten day at the work or a rotten day with your secretary? Or a lovely day with your secretary, and put that on? I suppose you could annoy your spouse with that, couldn't you? Yes. Just a thought. Let's see the cute little story of Marcy's continues. Wasn't it cute yesterday? We were just singing these little Negro songs because of the burden she was carrying. Very, very simple lady. That's in the Peanuts, in the Telegraph. Yes, I don't know why they buy records like that. It's 5:10. I suppose that haircut suits you in a way. Looks a bit like a wig. Sort of neat. You going grey yet, are you? It's Good, isn't it? Makes you feel that you're maturing. At least one part of your body is. Oh, hardly. What about those? I noticed those this morning. Goodness. See, they're white. No, we won't cut them off at this stage, thank you. I don't want to do my Yul Brynner impression. 11 past 5. At least I'm not completely going grey anyway. 11 and a bit past 5. It's worth thinking about, isn't it? Well, what's on today? I don't know at this stage. I think I just forget about it at the moment. Here's Dinah Shaw. Do you know she's about 67 now, I think. We saw her birthday or something the other day in a magazine. No, it was in the TV Times. They gave her birth date. 67. No wonder she can't sing at her age. But she's fairly well preserved, isn't she? That's the correct word. Only because she married a mortician. It's 12 past 5. Here's Dinah Shaw, I presume, when she was somewhat younger. And this is dedicated to the fabulous Tony Lee and Des Turner.
Gonna take a sentimental journey. Gonna set my heart at ease. Gonna take a sentimental journey to renew old memories. Got my bag, I got my reservation. Spent each dime I could afford, like a child in wild anticipation. Long to hear all aboard 7. That's the time we leave at 7. I'll be waiting up for heaven, counting every mile of railroad track that takes me back. Never thought my heart could be so yearning. Why did I decide to roam? Gonna take a sentimental journey, sentimental journey home. I wanna go back, way down to Nashville. Wanna go back. Do you know why I miss the folks I love? Mom's home cooking, sitting round the fire at a catfish fry. I miss the black-eyed peas, mustard greens, candied yams, homemade beans. I wanna fill my lungs with southern air, slip a whip of ribs of barbecuing down there. 7, that's the time we leave at 7. I'll be waiting all for heaven, counting every mile of railroad track that takes me back. Never thought my heart could be so yearning. Why did I decide to roam? Gotta take a sentimental journey, sentimental journey home. We got 16 tracks, a number 9 gold. The Rock Island line is gonna rock and roll, 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 roll. Carry me home. All aboard.
Dinah Shaw, in fact, recorded in the last couple of years. Well, unless it's a re-release or something, it says the best of Dinah, or it could be, yes. And that had a bit of Chattanooga choo-choo as well, didn't it? Being surrounded by it. It's called Sentimental Journey. 5:16. I must tell you about a couple of few cassettes you can get from the Australian Broadcasting Commission. It helps us to repaint Broadcast House if you get these, so it's going to a good cause. There's, here's the one that Channel 9 is inadvertently promoting, which is because the old cricket flashback. 4 great tests. It's produced and presented by the ABC Sporting Department, but despite that, I gather it's quite listenable, and it features some odd tests of the previous days, when cricket was in fact cricket, before it was fiddled with. It's $4.95, which includes postage. If you'd like it, ask for the cricket flashback cassette, $4.95, the cashier, etc., ABC Box 487. Or you can pop into ABC main office, to the commissioner, in fact, not the concerts department, they know much about cricket. But pop into the commissioner and say that Robertson told you to go in and please put it on Sir Talbot Duckman's account. Little lines like that, always a bit jovial, and he'll have it there for you. Not bad for a belated Christmas gift, even for yourself. The other one is that you might realise that at one stage the Aborigines actually had this country. Then the white men came out from England and shot them, you see, and said, we want this land, and gave them coals and did all sorts of things, had hunting parties. You've heard about that, haven't you? Well, in actual fact, Brian Furlonger who's a good bloke, indeed a good bloke, spent some time putting together programs on the Aborigines, and it's called, I assume it's Kunapipi, I presume that's how that's pronounced. It sounds that way. Kunapipi, the Earth Mother. It's a history of the Aborigines of the land. You know, it's a 5-cassette series, and if you feel any sort of responsibility or even any inquisitiveness, I'd recommend it. $16.90, which is not bad for 5 cassettes, I suppose. Seems a lot if you say it slowly. And you can get it from the ABC. I'm not sure if that includes postage. I would hope that's the price. This includes postage. Anyway, it's called Kunapipi, the Earth Mother. That's the only set of 5 cassettes we have, so you're fairly safe if you remember the 5. A history of the Aborigines in the land. And hopefully what rotten things we did to them in the name of progress and settlement and all that pathetic excuse we have. 5:18. Friday today. Why do we have some women in here this morning, Stone? All I seem to look at is blokes all the time. I'm getting a bit worried in here. Why don't we mix some little bits of crumpet in, just to look nice? Not an intellectual relationship, just a little crumpet to come in. Not very much. Could you arrange that, could you? No, don't ring her, no. We don't want a group of one woman. Well, you must know some young ladies. Ring them up now and say you desperately needed to come in here. We could put an LP record on. I'm sure that wouldn't strain a relationship. To ring at this hour, 19 past 5. Oh, all right then. Just a thought. Just thought I'd make a bit of crumpet in here this morning. I mean, we all know it's a man's world, but every now and then it'd be nice to upset that balance. Just two little crumpets. Little sweet-smelling, gorgeous things saying hello, wonderful, and other fibs. You're not much help, are you? You're meant to produce things. That's why I'm asking you to produce 2 ladies, and you wouldn't have a clue. You probably don't know any. When you ring up the old convent, they might have some little... Oh, well, it's just a thought. I'm just feeling a bit, is the word frisky the word we're looking for? It's a nice way of saying it. 5:20. I tried, didn't I? Worried about Mr. Stone. His age and not married. You know what they say about this business.
Down the Mississippi, down through New Orleans. Yes, I have. I played in California. There ain't too much I haven't seen. No, they ain't. Lord, I'm a rambling man. Don't fool around with a rambling man. Left a girl in West Virginia, up there where that green grass grows. Yes, I did. Got a girl in Cincinnati waiting where the Ohio River flows. Poor girl. rambling man. You'd better move away. You're standing too close to the flame. Once I mess with your mind, your little heart won't beat the same. Oh, I'm a rambling man. Don't mess around with any old rambling man. Better not. Well, up in Chicago, I was known as quite a boy, as I was. Down in Alabama, they call me the man of joy. Still do. Yeah, I'm a rambling man. Don't fall in love with a rambling man. You better move away. You're standing too close to the flame. Once I mess with your mind, your little heart won't beat the same. Lord, I'm a rambling man. Don't mess around with any old rambling man.
Pretty useless song, isn't it? I'm a rambling man, please don't work around me, rambling man. What a useless song. I think he actually went to the studio and recorded that. Is the most amazing thing. It's Waylon Jennings. 23 past 5. No forecast yet, Mr. Stone? If you can't produce some young ladies, at least you can produce a forecast, could you? No. What about a little bowl or something? You're waiting for the milk? Oh. Then why keep you on, really? The novelty value went years ago. 23 and a half past 5. So there's a play on today. This won't affect 2BA or 2CP. Won't affect me either because I won't be hearing it. But it's on. I feel I should tell you at 11 o'clock because these plays are most interesting. Today's playwright is Peter Shaffer's gentle comedy, The Private Ear. It's about Bob, a sensitive and shy young man with a passion for serious music and a fear of girls. Not that the two are related. Bob's friend Ted is no lover of music, but is very successful with the ladies, the dirty beast. Bob asks Doreen for a meal in his room. And of course Ted gets into the action, and you can hear the outcome in playback today. George Layton plays Bob. Red is played by Nicholas Edmett, and Doreen is portrayed by Jean Rogers. It's The Private Ear. There's a little thing here about it, actually, if I can find it. A little excerpt, if I can find it. Oh, of course, it's right at the back. I can't get it. Oh, well, we'll just get it, won't we? Forget about being professional. Done that. Here we are. So what it is, Bob is trying to score here, it would appear. He's trying to score, as the Australians would say. There's more to life than ladies. Goodness.
Venus is the mother of grace, of beauty, and of faith.
And your bird's the mum of all that.
Of course not. I'm not a fool. But that look of hers is ideal beauty, Ted. Really beautiful people are beautiful inside. Don't you see?
You mean like after Andrew's liver salts?
Oh.
Bob, shy, sensitive, and a lover of classical music, invites a girl to dinner at his flat for the first
Well, we
time.
just went through it. We just went through all this. We just went through all that, actually. I just thought it was just a little bit. This is play. See, also, I assume that had just a bit of it, but I'll go through it all again. Anyway, Bob's trying to score. Ted does score, and Doreen is scoreless, isn't she? Scoreless draws. He just scoreless draw, and he wants a drawless score. That's what he wants. You like that? I like that. Yes. Yes. 25 and a half past 5. Nice when you reverse that. Scoreless draw. Now I want a drawless score. Beauty, beauty bottler.
out what he knows that he has blown, that he has blown. The night hangs its head as the fool crawls into bed. Still his hungry heart begs to be fed. All the words she said that, she said that, she said. So then he grabs his Chevrolet in one more attempt to get away. The thoughts of all the crimes of passion lay in his way. He could shake the blues, but you know he still can get confused. Seems like such a waste, but he can't shake her. He can shake his tail, but you know his moves are getting stale. He's on the make, but boy, his eye can't fade. He can't shake her. He can't shake her. He can't shake her.
Yes, it sort of grows on you just a little bit. Trickle, trickle, it's called for some weird reason. Manhattan transfer, 19 degrees and 5:30.
Good morning. The news in brief, read by Martin Royal. China is reported to be massing troops along its border with Afghanistan. It's also said to be stepping up deliveries of arms to Pakistan. The report carried by the Press Trust of India said Chinese troops were assembling on a small strip facing Afghanistan's Wakhan corridor. The Press Trust also quoted reliable sources as saying that China had accelerated already large-scale movements of military hardware along the Karakoram highway, which connects the Chinese provisional capital of Urumqi with Islamabad in Pakistan. Mr. Fraser says any moves by the Soviet Union to gain control or influence over Middle East oil fields must be checked. The Prime Minister said yesterday the situation following the Soviet intervention in Afghanistan posed the greatest threat to peace since the Second World War. In London, a bomb has exploded in a hotel, killing one man and injuring 3 other people. One of the injured is in a serious condition in hospital. The explosion was in the Mount Royal Hotel in the heart of London's West End shopping area. It caused extensive damage. The Federal Transport Minister, Mr. Hunt, has been considering changes to Australia's domestic airlines policy. No details have been released, but Mr. Hunt has disclosed that the sale of TAA to private enterprise was raised. Mr. Hunt said it was government policy to maintain control of the airline. Australian wool sales face serious disruption from a strike by wool handlers. The handlers are to remain on strike until Monday, when they'll meet to hear the results of a national telephone hookup between union officials and wool brokers during the weekend. The wool handlers are on strike because employers have appealed against wage increases granted last month. And that was the news in brief. The next news on 2BL at 6.
Thank you, wonderful. Urubamba, same to you, and from the group Urubamba, or person Urubamba, or thing Urubamba. It don't say. It does not say. The great ferry race will be on Sunday. The boats concerned are which are the ones? Doesn't say here. Anyway, they're all starting with K, aren't they? Special K. I don't know what they are. I mentioned it before. I've lost a bit of paper. They're running this Sunday anyway. And they're being trailed by the Lady Cutlery. With the usual boozing lot saying, oh, come on, lads. Interesting thing, I get the impression that they in fact can go faster, those ferries. But they find 12 knots. 12 knots is the most economical speed for them. Well, hence, yes, fuel consumption is what I meant by economical. And they don't use less water. Thank you, John. This is quite a step forward in your education. Of course, if I mean fuel consumption, I say economical. You could mention oil. I suppose you would. Anyway, the faster you go, the greater the friction is in the front of the bow. The front of the bow. There's a bit of tautology for you. Can catch on fire if you go very fast. Can. Sheer friction, even though it's in the water. A lot of people do not realise that. In fact, that's why some of those big ones have bulbs at the front. Anyway, the race is on Sunday, and it might be interesting. I just hope a lot of spectator craft don't get in the way. All those ferries turning at once could do unusual things to small boats, couldn't it? It should be fun. It's 24 to 6. I won't get to see it, I don't think, somehow. Maybe non-compass Menzies this weekend. 24 to 6, 19 degrees, no forecast yet because someone's slack. And it's the 18th of January. Frank Hubbard writes, fun is like life insurance. The older you get, the more it costs. Depends what you mean, Frank. Oh, Francis. Is it what I think it is? Perhaps it is. 23 and a half to 6. This is J.J. Worthington. Oh.
It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk that makes me tend to leave my sleeping bag rolled up and stashed behind your couch. And it's knowing I'm not shackled by forgotten words and bonds and the ink stains that have dried upon some line. That keeps you in the back roads by the rivers of my memory. That keeps you ever gentle on my mind. It's not clinging to the rocks and ivy planted on their columns now that binds me, or something that somebody said because they thought we fit together walking. It's just knowing that the world will not be cursing or forgiving when I walk along some railroad track and find that you're moving on the back roads by the rivers of my memory, and for hours you're just gentle on my mind. Though the wheat fields and the clotheslines and the junkyards and the highways come between us, and some other woman crying to her mama 'cause she turned and I was gone, I still might run in silence, tears of joy might stain my face, and a summer sun might burn me till I'm blind. But not to where I cannot see you walking on the back roads by the rivers flowing gentle on my mind. I'd dip my cup of soup back from the gurgling, crackling cauldron in some plain yard. My beard a rotting coal pile and a dirty hat will blow across my face. Through cup hands round a tin can, I'd pretend I hold you to my breast and find that you're waiting in the back roads by the rivers of my memory, ever smiling, ever gentle on my mind.
And a half to 6, Gentle on My Mind, from J.J. Worthington. Double J. Worthington. Good old Double J. There's some cricket on today. Queensland versus New South Wales. It's being played in Brisbane. That should be gorgeous. And there'll be preliminary comments and a full description of today's play of the World Series Cup. I'll just delete this cigarette manufacturing company again. You think they'd learn upstairs, wouldn't you? Refuse to promote people who make people addicted to drugs which cause great upsets. Notice that the Surgeon General in America says definitely that pregnant women should not smoke. If you're a pregnant woman and you're smoking, how much responsibility are you really feeling towards the child? Don't make gestures at me. It's a fact. Today's play of the World Series Cup, one day, and they're having descriptions today. The ABC Radio Cricket Commentary team includes Al McGilvray, is that Reds Pereira? No one is called Reds Pereira. It sounds like a special bin, doesn't it? As you get House Red, isn't it? Reds Pereira. Reds Pereira? Is it? It says it, doesn't it? Jim Maxwell? That's the joking part, isn't it? That makes... They use Jim because it makes the others look so good, doesn't it? You can hear him reading his ad-lib script, can't you? Bob Simpson and Dave Renneberg. Reds Pereira? Reds? Goodness. During the afternoon's description, there'll be tea summaries. There won't be tea summaries at all. There'll be summaries while they're having tea. I don't... Oh, the Windies. We won't have Windies. We have West Indies. Cannot take Windies. Reminds me of trouble in a scrum. West Indies...